Hello everyone, it's Omae and welcome back to the brand new video. Today we're going to analyze Gunko and see how good she is. I did make a Shamrock video, so go check that out. I'll try to make this one a bit shorter though, and there's none of that first reaction stuff, right? So she is a strength cerebral powerhouse just like Shamrock. She actually has Rush Sugo special. Very awesome, because we didn't have a 12th Annie unit that did that. We did have the dual elders, but no one from the 12th Annie who had a Rush, so this is great. Shamrock has the super tandem boost, she has Rush, and she also has damage limit break class, just like Shamrock. She is going to be a support style character in Rumble with a very high defense. I mean, speed stat, wow, 196. Her defense is extremely low though, 129 only. She's a 31 CT unit. She does heal in a small range, it seems. She evades action bind and special bind. Okay. What else here? She is an EX super character, of course, with a 20 cooldown after limit break expansion. What else? She has quite a high recovery stat, so she should be healing quite a good amount. Of course, Holy Knight, Celestial Dragon, Albeth Arc, Paramythia type, and World Government. Paramythia type gives her access to a lot of characters. I've noticed a lot of units nowadays boost Paramythia tag, so it's always nice to have that. So her special, well, let's first go through her captain ability, right? Arrow Woman leading, landing on Albeth, right? At start of quest, activates an effect that allows crew to stack 2 conditional boosts for 7 turns, and also gives you an overhealing buff for 7 turns. So this is great. I mentioned this in the Shamrock video, but we've had characters in the past that give a 5-turn buff at the start of the quest, and that's great for 3-stage content like Treasure Map Kizuna. But when it comes to PvE, which is 5-turn content, a 5-turn buff at the start of the quest will be gone by the time you reach the final stage, but 7 turns is perfect. And yes, stacking conditional boosts is not like a immediate damage buff, but it will help you in high damage content, that's for sure. So right now we want to get to higher levels of PvE. We want to do a lot of damage in the upcoming super boss, that's for sure. So having stacked conditional boosts is very important, and not many units do it. It should also give a charge time versus effect gauge and switch effect uses reduction for powerhouse and cerebral characters, and also a 6x attack boost, similar to not similar to Shamrock. She actually has a much more powerful and all-encompassing effect, it seems, because for Shamrock, he boosts strength characters by 1.1x if there's a strength territory, cerebral characters by 1.1x if there's a cerebral territory, and then a 1.1x for powerhouse if there's a powerhouse territory. But for Gunko, if you have either one of them or territory crew, then we'll give you a 1.2x extra attack for strength and powerhouse and cerebral units. I think this is much better because you only need one and the effect is quite massive. And then if your character is captain, so friend does not count, and you perform a excellent with her action special, she'll give a extra 1.1x attack for 3 turns. So let me just pull up the calculator. We can see how much damage she's doing in total. So starting off with 6x, then a 1.1x if you hit the action special excellent, and then also for having one of those territories up, it's a 7.92x. So Shamrock gets to a way higher multiplier if you fulfill all the requirements, but Gunko is giving you like good damage overall with as few requirements as possible. So I like that. And then the Sailor ability will give a 1.1x attack boost increase for strength units. That is massive. And then also make Dex and Tandem counters matching for cerebral and powerhouse. Very good, very good. She will have a rush, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's take a look at her special ability. So she's going to do 2 million damage to one enemy, which will ignore all defensive effects and normal attacks only. So for weaker enemies like stage 3 of PvE, a lot of the time this will actually be able to kill them. Remember, it is only to one enemy, so if you're going up against the quest with 6 enemies, this will not like kill everyone, right? But this is still really powerful, right? Reduces all enemies damage reduction effects excluding threshold by 15 turns. So remember, Shamrock is removing threshold by 15 turns, I believe, so this is great synergy, of course. And then if she's the captain or the friend captain, she will give you a very powerful orb manipulation, block, recovery, and strength into super strength, so very similar to Shamrock here. And remember, super strength, it will get stronger if you have all 6 characters on your team as strength units. The strength of this kind of an orb is dependent on how many units you have matching it, similar to territory. And then if you have either powerhouse and strength territory, or if you just have Terry Crews from, for instance, Emu or the co-op Raja, then if you land 3 perfects, gives an attack boost by 3.5x for 3 turns to these characters. So it's a tap timing based attack boost in the turn. If you hit 3 perfects, this attack boost will activate and you can get an extra 3.5x damage for the rest of your characters. So that means your first 3 units aren't going to be doing a lot of damage, but the latter 3 will be dealing 3.5x. This is the most powerful tap timing based attack boost that we've seen in the game, and it's for multiple stages as well, which is unbelievable. And then if you don't meet the requirement, it'll be a much more stock standard 2x for 1 turn, still applying to the same types and classes, and still after 3 perfects. So really powerful, very unique damage buffs here. Whereas for Shamrock, you needed either a Terry Crews or cerebral and strength territory. So I don't like that there's a difference here. It means that if you want to get both of these characters to get their full potential, you'll need to apply a powerhouse territory, cerebral territory, and a strength territory, which is quite difficult. And then after that, Gunko will give you a regular attack boost up to 4x for 3 turns based on the outcome of the action special. And then after that applies a powerhouse territory. So Shamrock gives the cerebral territory, Gunko gives the powerhouse one, and then 12th Danny Shanks gives a strength territory. So you can reach all 3 of them using this trio. Very, very powerful, right? So I think her special is great. She's giving multiple avenues of damage, a regular attack boost, which is always nice to have, a tap timing based attack boost, mainly used in high damage content. In most content, we won't even waste our time hitting more than 3 perfects, but it's great for high damage content, of course. Super strength orbs, a very unique territory, also damage reduction utility, the damage ignoring normal attacks only. I'm very impressed by this unit. I do think the Shamrock is going to see a bit more play, but at the end of the day, a very powerful special. Now, what about her PvP stuff? I'll first talk about her EX Super though. So when she is a sailor, you can still use this EX Super, and you need either Emu, one of the Holy Knights, one of the Celestial Dragons besides Doflamingo, or a 5 elder character. You need 2 of these for this ability to activate besides Gunko herself. So she will change strength and powers to super class and super type respectively, and then a 43,000 heal. This is a bit better than Shamrock's 30,000. I don't know what the story behind this number is, but very cool. And then a 1750 base attack for 2 turns. Okay, it's a bit weak. It's only for 2 turns. It should have been 3 turns. This is a pretty mediocre effect, I must say. It's pretty bad. Yeah, overall, her EX Super is pretty bad in my opinion. I don't think this is very good at all. Like, if you look at Shamrock's, I mean, even Shamrock's one isn't that crazy, but it's a bit better. It will also give weakened status 3 immunities, which becomes even stronger if the enemy has increased damage taken, IDT, right? So this is way more powerful. There are so few weakened statuses that go through immunities that this is just such a powerful EX Super, even though it's not doing a lot. Whereas Gunko, base attack boost, it's weak and it's pretty bad. It's not 3 turns, but iffy, right? The Rush Sugo special though, at the final battle, when 2 or more characters on the crew, very similar requirement to the EX Super, and she is the first or second unit to attack. Wow, okay. I think this is great that she's also the second tap, because a lot of the time you need the first tap to be someone who's not doing damage so that you can start off the chain. And then a lot of the time these units are for rush. They require you to be the first tap. So that unit themselves that has the rush is not going to be doing a lot of damage because of the fact that you haven't started the chain yet. But with Gunko, you can do the second tap or the first tap. I think that's a massive improvement, right? And double characters counts as 1. So she's of course going to give the usual cerebral powers characters get a rush attack boost for the final tap, and then also a chain additive increase based on how many rush increments you perform. So really powerful. Remember, HP guard goes really well with rush ability, and also having that overheal from Gunko and Shamrock, allowing you to heal to much higher HPs, means that you can do more increments of the rush. So I think that's about it for her PvE stuff. There's still the support ability. You do get a overheal buff. Wow. From a support ability. Is this the first? I think this might be the first in the entire game to do this. Let me just search this up. Support abilities, survivability, healer, overheal, allows overheal. Alvida and Kobe, and this one's a horrible unit, I must say. I pulled them on the debut. They are a pretty bad support ability, but this is the only other unit in the game to give an overheal HP buff. So the fact that you can do this, any Celestial Dragon, so all the 5 Elders and the Holy Knights, when you use a orb changing special. So let's see who actually fulfills that. I know the new Shamrock is doing that in his special, so that's great. But what about, I think the old Figurine Garling, the Int Legend, he also does orb manipulation, right? Orb manip. No, unfortunately not. Which of the elders? St. Mars does orb manipulation. I'm not sure who else does that, but either way, it's a really powerful support ability. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's only strength type units that have these tags, so I think Mars is the only option, and the new Shamrock. But still really powerful, right? Now, what about her Rumble stuff, right? This is important. So, at 31 CT, let's first take a look at her passive, though. I think her passive is the first one we should read. So, target strength type, powerhouse class, and world government tag teammates for HP up and attack up of level 6. World government get an additional HP up level 6 and speed up of level 6. So a total of level 12 HP up, which is quite substantial. That's essentially like 3,000. Yeah, 3,000 exactly HP. Very, very powerful. And attack up, that would be about a 300 to 400 attack up. And speed up a level 6 is a 30 increase in speed, which makes a massive difference. So awesome buffs here. And then when dealing damage, of course, this attack up helps Shamrock immensely, who's doing the regular damage, and with the focus of giving himself as much attack up buff as possible. She will additionally say that when dealing damage, Holy Knight teammates get a 10% CT reduction up to 7 times. So very similar to Emu. Only Holy Knights means that in most cases it's just going to be Shamrock. But I mean, you could run a the Int Figurine Garling on this world government kind of team as well. I definitely think that's a decent option. Because the new Shamrock and Gunko, they really want to be ran on a world government team. They do buff Cerebral and Powerhouse teams, or Strength and Powerhouse, should I say. But at the end of the day, they're giving the most to world government teams. So running this Figurine Garling might be the meta, alongside Shamrock, as well as the new Gunko, because she's giving both of them the 10% CT reduction every single time, right? So with all these special CT speed up buffs that Shamrock provides, in addition to this CT reduction from Gunko, I mean, even though Shamrock is a 35 CT unit, he's gonna activate his special in the first like 15 seconds. It's gonna be insane, man. With how many buffs and CT reduction we have, it will happen. And then when 5 or more world governments are on the team when appearing on the field, so that can also just be characters on the bench. You could put like fodder units there that have world government tag. Target self was 50% CT reduction. So remember, this will happen at the start of the quest, at the start of the match, should I say, as long as Gunko's on the main lineup. If she's coming in from the bench, it'll activate then. If you're using sub swap and pushing Gunko to the bench, and she comes back into the main lineup later on in the match, she will activate this effect again. It's not limited to 1 time per match. So 50%, that's going to reduce it down to level or 15 seconds. And then with all the CT speed up that Shamrock provides, bro, both Shamrock and Gunko are going to be activating so quick, man. And then she also revives herself up to 50% HP 1 time. So she's making up for the fact that she has that horrible defense stat by reviving, which I really like, right? What else? So that's a passive, really powerful. Strong buffs, incredible CT reduction, not only just to herself, but also to the Interfigure and Garling Legend and Strength Shamrock. And then she's also self-reviving, really powerful unit in my opinion. But when it comes to her special, she will target Strength, Powerhouse, and Cerebral, and World Government characters for 20% healing and a special CT speed up of level 3. So that's going to further buff Shamrock. I believe she will activate first for sure, and then afterwards, very shortly, Shamrock will activate thanks to all these special CT speed up buffs. And then Holy Knights get a level 7 attack up for 20 seconds. Bro, if she activates before Shamrock, we're gonna have like level 50 attack up, bro. Like with all these buffs, level 50 attack up on Shamrock, and he's gonna be doing spread damage, HP cuts out of the wazoo, bro. It's insane. Damage reflect. Okay, so target self for damage reflect status to reduce damage by 70% and reflect 100% of the damage reduced. Oh my goodness, I told you guys not to pull on Bato. Or did I? I don't know. Did I? I actually don't know. But reflecting all the damage and reducing it by 70%, this is like miles better than Bato's one. Yes, it's only to herself, which is, I guess, kind of the trade for it. But that is insane, bro. And wait, and she's also applying it to everyone else. When 4 or fewer quick type enemies are present, targets 2 strength type, powerhouse, or world government teammates for damage reflect for 40% damage reduction and 100% of the reflected damage. 100% of the damage taken or reflected, I mean, right? And this one's for 15 seconds. This one's also for 15 seconds. So it's not a long time, but it's incredibly powerful because we know damage reflect does not go through defense. But when getting to this insane level of it, 70% of the damage is reduced and all that damage is reflected at the enemy. This is so much better than Bato's. Like, if we just take a look at Bato, bro, you can see just how much better this unit is. It's unbelievable, man. Like, Bato reduces or reflects only like 50% of the damage reflected and the damage reduced, and the damage reduced isn't even that crazy. Let's take a look here. So he's giving a 50% damage reduction and then only reflecting 30% of the reflected of the damage reduced. So in essence, he's only really reflecting 18% of the damage that the enemy is truly doing, because half of the damage is reduced and then only a third of that damage is actually reflected. So at the end of the day, it's only about 18% that Bot is reflecting back. But when it comes to Gunko, it's straight up 70%, which is like 5 times better. Like, genuinely, what? Now, albeit it's only 40% here, but that's still even that is 2 times better than Bato's one. I knew they were just tasting the waters with Bato, and they're actually putting the proper damage reflection on a Super Sugo unit. Wow. And she's activating so early on. Bato sometimes has issues where he doesn't activate in time, but she's giving herself 50% CT reduction. She's giving that constant CT reduction for Holy Knights, which includes herself. Bro, I can't believe it, man. Like, it doesn't seem like she's doing a lot in a special, but she's doing a lot. She's healing massively. She's giving incredible buffs, especially that help Shamrock. And this damage reflect, you cannot ignore that. That's the meat and potatoes of the special. Reducing damage by 70%? Are we hearing this right now? And then reflecting 100% of the damage. Dude, I actually can't believe this. And then her burst will activate when she performs a normal attack 7 times. Not that hard. I mean, it will take a decent amount of time in the first match, but I guess it is what it is. No, wait, this is any normal attack, not just hers. Yeah, this is going to charge very quickly. Wow. It'll target your strength, cerebral powers, and will government teammates for damage reflect. 50%, 1.5 extra of the damage reduced is reflected, and a 30% healing to them. So everyone's getting this. And this is essentially a 75% of the enemy's damage reflected. 50% times 1.5. Wow. Wow, man. Such an easy requirement as well. Revives power cerebral teammates up to 1 time at 50% HP. So if someone slams your shanks from 12th any, you'll just revive. Attack up, recovery up, special CT speed up, HP up 12, speed up level 6. This is insane buffs, bro. This is incredible buffs. This one is still important, but not as crazy. Both of Shamrock and Gunko have insane GP stuff, and really fun GP stuff at that as well. I am excited, man. Let me know your thoughts. I think Shamrock has very unique PvP stuff. I think when paired up with Shamrock, she's going to see like the full potential. But I think she'll also just go really well on just the general world government team with how much CT reduction she's providing, how much damage reflect damage she's doing, the amount of buffs that she's providing. Excellent support unit, man. And when it comes to PvE, I do think she's really powerful, but the EX super is a bit lacking. I'm excited for the rush ability. I like that it's second tap as well. Incredible support ability as well. The EX super, as I said, is a bit underwhelming. The captain ability is also not as like powerful as Shamrock's, I believe. It's much more helpful to just have a color affinity than a double conditional boost stacking buff. Of course, in high damage content, I think Gunko is going to be more important as a captain, but generally I think Shamrock is a bit better PvE wise. But still, I really am impressed by this unit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I will make separate videos talking about hybrid options when it comes to like friend captains to run alongside them, the base sailors to run under them, and also the kind of PvP teams we should see them on. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.